All right, I'm back here with Carving with Eric, and I've been asked several times by other carvers who are interested in filming what they do if I would show what I do. And we're standing in my carving room. It's a little office off to the side of our dining room. And I really liked it when we looked at this house. This was one of the things I thought would be my carving room. Originally, thought it would be my wife's knitting room, but she corralled another room instead. But we're in the carving room, and the table here is an old table that I use. It's about 150 years old. It needs some work done to it. I'm probably going to change it out here soon, but the legs are not very sturdy, so it gets a little bit wonky sometimes. But anyway, let me zoom in here a little bit and show you what I've got. I've got a camera. This is my Canon SX10IS. It's an older camera, probably about 6 or 7, 8 years old. It works perfectly, and you can see how it looks. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm using that green artist mat there as a cover that I use for it. But anyway, the camera is mounted just like you would in a tripod. I guess you can't see that very well. See if it'll focus in a little better. But the tripod hole has a screw in it. I've got a screw right there in it, and you can see it there better. A couple of washers and a piece of wood mounted behind it to hold the camera straight up. Otherwise, the weight of the camera bends this. It'll bend this metal. This metal can twist. And so if I don't have it at an angle, it'll be a little bit goofy looking. But anyway, the camera's mounted so it's looking straight down on the work. And you can see when my hands are out here working. I have it mounted. It's a little short piece, probably about 4 foot long. I have it mounted on just some wood that's been cobbled together. It's got a base on it, clamped in. You can see the clamp holding it to the table. And then there's another clamp up here holding the metal bar to the top of the pole. There's 2 of those, one on each end of the table. 2 clamps there, a clamp holding it down, and that's all I have. A couple of lights here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lights. And you can see the outdoors. I really like to look at the outdoors. It's really nice to sit here. Anyway, that's what I use mostly to film with. The camera I use is a Canon SX10IS. It's a little bit older camera. Like I said, it's about 7 or 8 years older, but it has this screen that I can flip open, and I can turn it so that I can watch it. So whatever's being filmed, I can watch it with that screen. And so I know when I'm down to 15 or 20 minutes. I know when its batteries run out. I know when it's not doing well, or if it's the wrong angle. And so I can reset, reposition, and start all over. But I like this little setup. I have another setup that I don't use very often. I'll pull it out here so you can see it. It's my GoPro. And the GoPro is a great little device to use. This is a GoPro. You lay it down, it'll focus in a little bit. It's the GoPro Hero Session 5. I like it, but it has no view screen. So when you're doing it, if you've got it mounted on your head, or if you've got it mounted on a stick that you can use, there's all kinds of configurations for doing that. Plugs right into the computer. I have another little device that I've made here for mounting, just like I do the camera. It's got some spacers there to help you out, but I don't like it as much when I'm filming directly because I can't see what I'm doing. So I have to videotape a few seconds, then then take it out, go to the computer, look at everything, make sure it is filming right, because you could turn this thing any way you want, and if you don't have it in the holder right, then you just don't know whether you're upright. You have to know where you're at. In other words, whether you're doing it upside down or right side up. I've done that a couple times where I started filming, then found out later when I stuck the SD card in the computer, the thing was upside down, had to redo that whole thing. So I don't really like it. I'm videotaping this on my Samsung tablet because it works really well, but it's not mountable. I don't have a way of mounting it to a tripod or anything that would hold it up. Anyway, that's how I film. Sitting right next to me, I would have my knife holder. I just made this one the other day because I wanted to downsize. But essentially what I have is just a knife holder that holds the bare minimum of tools that I need. Don't need much in there. But on some of these, I had to really rearrange. Instead of just drilling the hole straight through, I had to add a little bit of profile to each side so that this knife would fit in there perfectly. Otherwise, it wobbles back and forth too much, kind of like some of these others do. So I had to make it to where it would fit down in there a little bit better. But anyway, these are all done with a series of cutters that you just drill right straight down through, and I have some foam mounted on the bottom, so if one's longer than it needs to be, it won't touch bare metal or wood. It just does it right on top of that foam. So working on a couple of things. I'm doing a couple of hobo looking guys. You see one of them is a Marv Kaisersatt hobo. There's the paper that you get with it from Willock Woods wood carvings. Anyway, there's the hobo. And obviously, I'm gonna, I always change something, so my guy looks a little bit differently. But anyway, this is where I carve. All the supplies are over here in the closet. Each one of these is a particular class. So there's classes that I teach at our local woodcraft, or I go elsewhere and teach. Some go-bys in there. There's all the books, supplies, wood burners. There's some of the carvings. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know how I did what I did, how I do what I do, and what equipment I use for that. Again, I've got a Canon SX10IS. I think that's about 6 or 7 years old. The GoPro Hero Session 5 is about 3 or 4 years old, maybe 3 years old. The Samsung tablet I've been using is probably, I'd say 6 years old, 5 years old maybe. But anyway, this is the carving place. I got the TV. I can watch stuff back in there on the TV. I got the computer. Right now I'm streaming through CBS All Access some of the Star Trek shows that I've missed over the years, and really enjoying those. But I've got a nice little carving room, and I have a heck of a view out the back, and whenever it gets nice weather, I can go right out there and have me a little fire. So I hope this helps any of you.